I started the case yesterday and I didn't actually get to finish it, so let me share it with you to start. 65-year-old female, wife of a rancher in a small town, having some senior moments 5 years before seeing me that increased to the point where she forgot the key code on the front door and was locked out in the middle of winter in a snowstorm. Ended up in the ER with frostbite. 2 months later, had a kitchen fire and almost burned down the entire ranch by leaving the stove on. Was evaluated by a primary care physician, got the incredible comprehensive current Alzheimer's evaluation of a CBC, a chemistry, a TSH, an old-fashioned syphilis test, and she actually did get an MRI and the 15-minute paper test called the mini mental status exam. Diagnosed with dementia, the husband was told to look at placement because she'll probably need to go there soon. That's it. She was put on the medication Tacrin. There's several medicines that are out right now. None of them seem to have a dramatic effect. They seem to slow things down a little bit, but they just don't seem to be a game changer. And as we talked yesterday, this idea of a monotherapy is never going to work. I gave a talk in a small town to his church group about the Mark Hyman project working with Saddleback Church. Do you guys know about that? He helped them lose weight, reduce their blood sugars, reduce their cardiovascular risk, but they work in these small groups. And so we created a little small group in his town through the church groups because they met every week. And we talked about nutrition. I put 3 videos together they would watch. And people just became conscious of nutrition. So he met me, brought his wife to come see me, and we looked at her genetics, her microbiome, her metabolome. We looked at her hormones. We looked at her nutrient deficiencies, zinc, copper. We looked at B12 and folate. We checked her methylation status. We looked for mercury and arsenic toxicity. She was very high in both. And actually their well water was very high in arsenic. So we put her on hormones. We gave her B12 injections. We gave her methylated folate. We got her vitamin D level to 80. We got her leaky gut fixed. 3 months later, she remembered the number of her house code again. 6 months later, she remembered the names of her neighbors that had moved away and were now returning. So all these little things started to come back for her. And within 18 months, her mini mental status exam was normal. So it doesn't take a long time to make these differences. When she came to see me the first time, she said, we spent an hour together with her and her husband. Her husband went to go to the bathroom, and she leaned in close and said, there was some strange man that came into my hotel room last night, because they had driven over past and spent the night in our town before our visit. And when her husband came back and said, was there room service last night, or did somebody drunk in the hotel try to knock on your door, or what happened last night? He said, no, that was me. She has sundowning, which a lot of these people with dementia get really bad as the sun goes down. And she didn't know it was her husband in the room next to her. When they came for a follow-up the next year, she knew it was her husband. So my point here is that, we're helping people with cognitive impairment, but it's everybody around them. And this concept we talked about, the collaborative care team, and it's the concept of this caregiver stress. And I'll show you some information on that. What we're finding is that the people that care for people with dementia are developing the biomarkers setting them up for dementia. Cognitive decline causes cognitive decline. This is a vicious cycle. And for every person that has severe cognitive impairment or early Alzheimer's, it takes 2 people to care for them. So when you see these numbers, I'm going to show you where this is really getting out of control. All of my fellow internal medicine doctors that I trained with, they're doing this. They're just mopping up the floor, but the water's pouring out. The current model's broken. We all know that. That's why you're here. That's why you use the company that sponsors us. It's more than just a pill for the ill. It's a lot more than the poly pill pharmacy. Do you guys remember the poly pill that came out a couple years ago? It was a statin with 3 antihypertensives, aspirin, and folic acid. Supposed to reduce all-cause mortality by 20%. What did you hear from Jeff Bland last night? That in people with high-risk cardiovascular disease, there's a new drug that reduces LDL, the bad cholesterol, with a 20% possible mortality benefit at $14,000 a year. Or a lifestyle modification had a 50% reduction. So again, it's what you're doing, it's what you're learning, it's the information that we're going to share with each other about how to do this. When I go to my internal medicine conferences, I have someone who has a nicer suit than me standing on the stage and tells me what they did and the results they got, and then they scurry off. What you'll get from me, what you get from Dr. Susan and all the practitioners here is, I'll tell you what we did, I'll tell you how we did it, I'll give you the protocol, I'll give you my email, and I'll help you be successful in your first few so you can teach someone else how to do it. That's the tribe we live in, guys, and that's what I want to be able to do for you today, and what I want you guys to do for someone else. I'm going to give you a bunch of information. I purposely didn't use any slides yesterday because this was from the heart. And if you don't start there with your patients, you're never going to get to the finish line. So when you start with a patient, center yourself. We do a little team huddle in the morning where we all center each other. We all center the clinic. When people come in, we love on them. It's not trying to get people in and out. It's not about making our times or our ICD-10s or trying to get over coding. I run a cash-based practice. I fired Medicare insurance companies 8 years ago. And it's kind of a funny story. You know, as a doctor, I don't know anything about money or business. So I thought it was a big pipe. You just throw stuff in one end and it comes out the other. And if you work 80 to 90 hours a week, guess what? That actually works, right? So I sat down with my billing person and she said, Mark, you're overbilling. These codes that we use, the 214s, 215s, I was doing too many complex coding. I'm an internal medicine specialist. These are complex people. That's what they get because that's the time we spent and the complexity of the visit. No, if you do too much of that, Medicare is going to audit you, you're going to get in trouble. So she told me to down code and give away money so that I met the parameters of what Medicare wanted. Ridiculous. Then I read 25 EKGs in one day, and I was told I get $5 reimbursement for reading the EKG, with all the liability of reading one wrong. The epiphany for me was when I went to my house and someone met me there to fix my hot tub. He did not have 27 years of education like I did. And he made me pay $150 in cash before he opened his toolbox. And my billing person told me that I got $68 reimbursement for the half hour I spent with a Medicare patient. So he gets twice as much for fixing my hot tub as I do for helping someone's health care. That was it. The next day I fired Medicare. I dropped all my insurance. I jumped into cash. If you fire Medicare, it's 2 years. You don't go back. You can't go to the urgent care. You can't work in a hospital. You can't work in ER. But I've never looked back and I've never been happier. And my clients, most of us have high deductible insurances, right? So guess what? It is a cash-based model. It's $3.95 to see me for an hour visit. I feel that's very inexpensive. We make some of that up on supplements. The supplements we sell, we send 10% to our local nonprofit. We show everyone a piece of paper that tells them why we do it, what we use, and where they have options to get others, and how we use the profits. And the key there is that most people come in, like I have a $10,000 deductible at $1,800 a month, my insurance. So I have catastrophic care. So when I go see a physician or I have some low-level care, it's out of my pocket. So really, a lot of people are doing cash-based medicine. They don't even think they are. But they're paying a middle person for their billing and taking percent off. So again, what's happening in primary care is broken. It's been broken a long time. And I think this direct delivery is going to be interesting. Some doctors are doing membership models. And I think you'll find those very interesting. What I'm going to do today, I got a bunch of slides, and I'm sorry, there's actually some research papers in there. But what I want you to do is just sit back. You can take some notes if you want to. I want to drop as many pearls on you as I possibly can today to share with you what's worked for me, how I talk to people, how I explain complicated things. If there's something you missed, there's a slide with my email at the end. Shoot me an email with what piece of it you want. I'm happy to send it to you, how to do it and what to do. So don't worry if you miss something or something's not exactly clear to you. I'll help you understand it.